Hungry dogs run fast.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome into my dog's favorite podcast, Dynasty Dogs, brought to you by the Double FU for you. That is the fantasy football universe. I am your host for this evening, Michael Anthony. Alongside me, as always, is my good friend, the man who has not mentally recovered from the retirement match of John Cena, my good friend, Rich McAteer. How are you, Rich? We'll give you a good minute or two to kind of, vent your frustrations if you like. If you're not a fan of wrestling, you might want to fast forward this. Rich has been very, very upset. Several videos. He wouldn't even answer his phone when I called him.
Call me midway. There was 10 minutes left in the match, and he's calling me.
No, the match was over.
No, it wasn't. I was behind. That was it. You know what happened? Peacock was fucking up in my basement, so we went upstairs. Okay. So I'm like, what? Oh my God, what? He's calling me. And I'm like, I knew that the outcome, I knew what was going to happen, but the way it happened, I kind of didn't like it. I didn't like the whole tournament because I knew 7 months ago, because they leak everything, because they're like the Philadelphia pipes. When it gets cold outside, they break and leak and leak and leak and leak, and that's all they do. They can't keep a secret. Drives me fucking nuts. As far as the match, it was a good match, but like you kind of knew what was happening. I didn't like the tapping out.
I did.
I thought that was lame.
To be honest,
I know you read all the fucking he did this for this. You're so easily persuaded. So easily.
Listen, well, the thing is, everybody, Rich, if you haven't followed along closely enough, Rich hates every single bad guy known to man that is not Randy Orton. So anytime a bad guy wins, and whether it be against John Cena or just some random good guy, it's always going to be a negative in Rich's life.
The thing is, number one, tell that to a kid with fucking cancer on the goddamn bed. Oh, time to give up now. No, his whole mantra was never giving up, and he gave up. That's the aspect I didn't like. Two, Gunther's not a good wrestler. He's just a
very good wrestler.
No, he's not. Do you see him jumping? Do you see him jumping off the top rope? He looks like a fucking idiot.
Ric Flair couldn't jump off the fucking top rope to save.
And guess what? He fucking didn't do it. Gunther just comes up there with his body that looks like he was on My 600-Pound Life. He lost all the weight and has all the skin. I can't stand him. He doesn't do anything technically good. He chokes someone out. Oh my God, I can't get out of a headlock and chop someone and a power bomb. Wow. Where have I seen that before? And by the way, if you're going to pass the torch to someone, guess what? I sell more T-shirts than Gunther does. There's not a single thing he's going to do for your merchandising department. So congratulations.
I mean, who would you have liked to win? Would it have been LA Knight?
No, I wanted Edge. So I mean, the whole crust of it was like I was already pissed off from the beginning. But yeah, LA Knight probably would have been better. Put someone else over. He was already over. Gunther's already the ultimate bad guy now. Now it's but the thing is, people are saying, he's the next face of the heels. You're trying to put him over. People are still saying you tapped out when he lost to Jey Uso. How terrible was that? So he's not getting over as much as they think because they still bring up the you tapped out part. So,
well, that's just bad booking in general. That part, to be honest.
What they want is
this is the heat they wanted, though. This is
right. They want the clicks. They don't give a fucking shit about anyone. Hence why they have pay-per-view every other month or every month. They don't give a fuck about the fans. I've seen on Twitter more times than I can count. This is the new era of it. I'm like, is this a recycled tweet? It's a new era starting Monday night, and then I fall asleep because the show blows. It's just it's
upsetting.
Probably
better than Monday Night Football, to be honest with you.
I didn't even watch it. I was all wrestling out.
Well, speaking of Monday Night Football, we need to talk about it. Let's get into that bite segment because it leads right into that conversation. This is our news and notes from around the league, and that leads to Tua Tagovailoa being benched for Quinn Ewers. On the year, Tua is 67.7 completion percentage, 2,660 yards, 20 TDs, 15 INTs, which is a career high for him, surprisingly enough.
15
fantasy, yeah. Fantasy wise, he's QB 21, QB 37 in points per game. Before losing to Pittsburgh this past Monday, they had been on a 4-game winning streak, but in reality, it wasn't because of Tua they were winning, right? In that time frame, he did not throw a single game over 175 yards, and he had 5 TDs to 4 INTs. So it wasn't like that 4-game winning streak was really keeping Tua afloat, right? I mean, the winning for a quarterback is always going to trump stats. I think we've kind of known that at this point, right? For the most part, unless he's throwing like 6 interceptions, no TDs, 100 yards, like that's going to get you benched, obviously. But Tua was enough to keep him in that starting spot while they were winning, but he also wasn't doing anything to help them win, if that makes sense. And then we see that this past week against Pittsburgh, where he has a solid game. Actually really doesn't, but he has a good stat-wise game, and they lose. So they needed to make the switch. I think Mike McDaniel is coaching for his job at this point.
It's Michael McDonald go, oh, if Yamo be there one more time. A 40-year-old version.
Yeah. But he did just sign a 4-year, $212 million deal in 2024. It keeps him in Miami until 2029.
Oh, boy.
Rich, what do you think happens with Tua now that he's been benched for Quinn Ewers?
I don't think I've seen really an organization that has been so mishandled, aside from
Cleveland.
Everything they do in Cleveland. Cincinnati's ran weird, but like just this year, more recently with Mike McDaniel, who's an absolute fucking doofus, and like I think he should be like checking the PSI of the footballs that go out. I think that's his job. He might be good for that. I think he should have got fired 7 weeks ago. So you got a guy.
They went on a 4-game streak though. That's realistically what kept him there.
Probably, but I think the team kind of gave up on him. Or like he lost the locker room, so to speak. He's just a guy. He looks like he smoked a ton of pot and then goes up to the podium and is just like, "Oh yeah, I got to do this," and just like a completely lack of awareness, lack of, anything to do with football. And then he's got like Tua, who looks fat and slow, so he's going to go. You know what? On my way out, I'm going to take him out. He goes. You said $212 million. He's the emergency quarterback this week.
Yeah.
He's in number 3. He goes from starting with a C on his chest to number 3. So I don't think it's all Tua 100%, honestly, but he's got a large part to do with what is going on with himself. But I mean, that whole from top to bottom, the inside and outside, the bones, everything to do with that, it needs to be like wiped clean. They need some kind of structure in there. You got Tyreek Hill going on whatever it is, and like posting these gifts
when he was freaking
of the guy
out
like disappearing. Well, and then like as soon as the news comes out, there's a peace out, like a peace emoji, and then the gif, he goes like this, and then he like disappears, like that shit, like that stuff that oh my god, why where's Josina Anderson tweeting about this? I mean, if it was AJ Brown, this would all be all over the place that he's tweeting all this. What could this gif mean? What could this mean? But since it's Tyreek Hill in Miami, nothing said about it. I think it's weird. Do I think Tua is done in Miami? This could. I would say no, just because what a freaking albatross of a contract that is, and I don't know who's going to want to take that big boy on. Pause. And 2, what kind of dead cap hit is that? That would like shatter Carson Wentz's.
It would have to.
I think Carson was like 40 million. That's got to break that record.
I wonder if it'll tell me what in this that website that does their contracts and stuff. Man, I suck at reading this shit, to be honest with you.
I can find
basically, yeah, it's hard to tell. So basically, it's a $30 million contract for 4 years, like $30 million per year, and guaranteed is $30 million. So you're at least taking that.
I mean, you've stuck with him all year. I don't know how you just go. You know what? He's benched. We're out of. Maybe they say, we're out of playoff contention, and it's like, okay, let's rest them up. But like, geez, they got a lot of work to do there.
I think it's a change of scenery that needs to happen for Tua.
I do, maybe, but like I said, I don't think that's even possible with this contract at this point.
It's definitely going to be tough. You're going to need a team like, to be honest, and I don't think it would be a good idea, like Cleveland, who has a ton of cap space, who knows what they're going to do at quarterback. But I'm going to talk about that later, so I'm going to leave that one alone for right now.
One of my buddies, real quick, who's a big Dolphins fan, said it's like $99 million that they can spread over a few years. So a $99 million. God damn.
I don't even know what to do with that. Yeah. I mean, what could you even get for him at this point? I don't know what Miami does. I think a change of scenery is needed for all parties involved, coaching, quarterback. They need to revamp this, but they're the 11th pick in the draft right now, so they're not really in the running for a weak quarterback class right now. So they're not really in the running for Mendoza.
Yeah, who's even coming out? Because I just seen what's his name, the Florida kid is transferring.
DJ Lagway, so Lenora Sellers is staying. Mendoza just won the Heisman, so he's probably coming out. I would think so. But he's not going to talk about that until I imagine after the playoffs and everything like that. So it's a weak class quarterback wise. If you're not at the top 3 or 4 picks right now, I don't see them getting a quarterback until later. Right?
This might be This might be a draft where you see a non-quarterback go 1. They're the very, very uncommon non.
Well, right now the Giants have the first pick.
Okay.
So they're not taking a quarterback. So
you would hope to Christ they take the best offensive tackle. Who knows? You got 2 guys who just run headfirst in the fucking. He's like that dinosaur. They're both like that dinosaur with the fucking, the helmet on.
Spike from Land Before Time.
Yeah, just running his shit all the time.
Yeah. They're not really going to be a contention for a quarterback unless they move up. And I don't know if they do. I just really don't know. I think Tua, with the injury history, it was surprising that he got that much money. But they do have to move on. It would be good for all parties involved. Let's talk about the next bit of news here that we got. Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL. We're looking at a 9 to 12 month recovery period for him. And with that loss this week, they are out of the playoff contention for good. Like they're done for the year. Like they could pretty much hone it in at this point. At this time, he was QB2 in points. QB2 in both points per game and total with 21.1 in points per game. He was having a solid season, right? As a fantasy wise, the kind of the season what we've been waiting for. He had, some years where he was in mid QB2 or early QB2, but he was starting to really, take off. To be honest with you, he was QB1 weeks 1 through 6 before Rashee Rice returned, and everything started. He started to have less points per game since Rice returned. So I guess part of that has to do with some of the rushing stats that he was getting earlier in the year. Is there any interest in buying Patrick Mahomes right now for you? Like if you're a team that isn't competing, you're out of the playoffs, your trade deadline's done, right? Would you buy Patrick Mahomes right now? Would you, wait to see? Or is like this injury thing just kind of scaring the shit out of you?
No, I mean he's a guy that it wouldn't scare me off of. I don't think he's a freak athlete. He's arguably one of the second best quarterback we've seen while we were alive, besides Tom Brady. So I don't think it's really the only thing that's gonna set him back is the time frame. I don't think people are really gonna come much off of a high asking price for him. I know at least I wouldn't. So yeah, I would try to buy him if I had the ammo to buy him. Maybe you can get someone who is afraid, but I doubt it.
What if you really needed a quarterback, right? And you have an early first. Would you? I mean, I don't think you're going to get him for just an early first. You're probably going to have to throw more on top of that just for name value, right? But say someone's panicked. Let's say. I don't fucking know. Okay, here's a good question. Instead of the early first, would you rather have Trevor Lawrence or Patrick Mahomes going forward in Dynasty?
That's a hard one. I'd still probably go Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trevor has started to build himself back up this year. So that's interesting to see how this plays out in 2026. But there's not a whole lot of guys I would take over Patrick Mahomes right now, especially if I'm like a QB away from contending. Would you rather have a guy like how How about this? You're a guy who was eliminated from the playoffs, right? You have Jacoby Brissett. You could package, let's say, a first, Jacoby Brissett, and maybe another first to get Patrick Mahomes. Are you doing it to a team that's a contender?
Ooh, that's a tough one, dude. I like the 2 firsts, though. I mean, this year, so it's really this year is like not the quarterback, but I don't think I can give up 27 just with even the thought of maybe having a lottery ticket for Arch Manning. So I don't think I would do it.
He does not look that great.
I think he's going to kind of turn it
Bounce
around.
back, you think?
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, I think he's young. I don't think there's any chance of him really. He seemed like he was kind of in over his head this year. I think next year it's a big gamble, but it's like I want to have my hat in the race. So if he has a great, fantastic season and he's a top quarterback in 27, then I'd rather have a pick than no pick at all, you know?
True. I think I would. I mean, honestly, I think if I could get Jacoby an early 26 first and maybe like a 26 second for Mahomes, I would do that. Send that to a contending team. They get a quarterback that they need for the playoff run. I get a quarterback with a lot more, I guess, qualities behind him, meaning like he's going to be the future of the Kansas City Chiefs. Jacoby, we don't know what is going to be, what's going to happen in Arizona, to be honest with you. Right. So if I could package that together and get Mahomes, I would absolutely do it.
Right. Would you say a 1-2 and a Brissett?
And Jacoby, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to do that than 2 1s and Brissett. Because Brissett, I was looking up today, he's still only 33 years old. I feel like he's been in the league for 49 years. True. But like he's not like he's like 35, 37. And he throws the ball
he's just 2 years
1,000 times. Right, but he like throws the ball 1,000 times a game.
Sure, absolutely. Last bit of news here, and this is just a quick thing. They are finally shutting Jaden Daniels. Oh, hold on, real quick. Back to that Patrick Mahomes conversation. Do you think Kelsey's back next year?
No, I don't. I seen something today. He was like, I hope the Chiefs get him back as fast as they can or something like that. He says, I forget who was on, but he says the Chiefs and not we. So it's like, I don't think so. He's had a really weird season, and he just looks like he's running on E. So I don't think so.
It wouldn't shock me if he's back. It wouldn't shock me if he's back because of the way this season ended, with Mahomes getting hurt, them being knocked out of the playoffs, he might just say, all right, I'm going to give it another year and see what the fuck happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if we're done, we're done. It is what it is. But I think he's going to give it another go. But like I said, I was moving on to this last spot here. I think the Commanders are finally making the right decision in shutting down Jaden Daniels for the season. Yeah, they should have did that the first time he got fucking hurt and then brought him back and then just absolutely terrified everybody in the Dynasty fantasy football and Commanders fans alike. Believe it or not, I actually forgot that we play them this Saturday. The Eagles play the Commanders on Saturday instead of Sunday. I was confused by that. But do you think this is the right move for the Commanders? I mentioned.
I mean, it was the right move 3-4 weeks ago. It was definitely the right move now. The hell are you going to do? You're going to put them up against the Eagles defensive line, who's arguably the best in football. The Eagles defense, who's arguably the best in football. Do you really want to subject your 109-pound quarterback to that? Dude, what they should be doing is I talked to a guy at work. He comes in pretty frequently. He's from Hyattsville, and he's a Commanders fan. He's talking about the first thing that they should do is hire a damn nutritionist for him. He's like, I got to be 100. A little bit. Yeah, he's got to be 110 pounds. And when he gets hit, he gets the shit kicked out.
But that was the thing. That was the thing we talked about when he came out of the draft. He was getting fucking pummeled.
Yeah.
Every single play in college at LSU. He was just getting I've seen videos of him getting propellered. There's I believe a video of Jalen Carter picking him up when he was at Georgia. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to learn to not take some of those hits. Sliding is going to be a big thing.
If you're going to subject yourself to that, you got to be bulkier than that, dude. If you're going to subject yourself to that kind of hurt, you got to be bigger than that, or you're going to crumble.
Do you think he's still a top 3-4 dynasty quarterback for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. With the mobility, the arm talent. I think they need another wide receiver. Terry McLaurin.
Oh yeah. What a fucking that's for a later the later episode. But Jesus, how Terry McLaurin, I'm gonna hold out. And we're sitting here left and right arguing for the guy to get a contract. Now he's got a fucking hang now, and he's out for 7 weeks.
Just fucking
It's
crazy.
an unreal.
But he has, when he plays, he's fine. It's just like you said, there has been some injuries with him, but they really don't have anybody else. Like Debo looked good in the beginning of the year, has fallen off the hill. Ben Sinnott, everybody,
Ben Snots.
Yeah, the Salvation of Ben Sinnott Society is fucking always clamoring for this dude to get involved, and he's just meh. I don't understand where that fan from.
I think it was because he was a top tight end coming out, or one of the top tight ends coming out, and it's like
second round pick in that draft, the Brock Bowers
right.
draft.
And then they're like, you know what? Give me old man Zach Ertz, who turns it the hell around. I mean, and plays well. So
I don't know. I don't really believe in him. But then they got guys like whose name's escaping me right now. De'Ami Brown. No, De'Ami Brown's on the Jaguars. That was last year.
The Swami Brown.
Luke McCaffrey. Yeah, Luke McCaffrey. I don't really see much in him. They have almost no running game outside of Chris Rodriguez. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt fell off a cliff. Like
Bill Cosby Merritt, dude. Thanks.
We talked about for months trading him away, and some people listened, some people didn't. So you're left holding the bags at this point. But Rich, let's get into our rewinds here from last week. We're going to talk about some games from last week. Rich and I brought 2 to the table. We're going to talk about some dynasty players that, whether they raise their stock, drop their stock, who knows what happens. We're going to talk about that. But Rich, do you want to lead us off here?
Sure do. The first game I thought was insane was the Jags and the Jets. Now the Jets, no shit, they suck. But we're going to talk about my guy that I've been clamoring for and traded away for a Jets player. And he's found a resurgence since he's been off my team, and that's Trevor Lawrence.
Just needed to get off Rich's dynasty
dude.
roster.
That's what it was, dude. And then I traded him for fucking Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson's like, psych. I'm going to sit right next to Malik Neighbors on your IR. 20 for 32, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 rushes for 51 yards, and a rushing TD. He played against the awful Jets, but is this the game he needed to kind of show that he is that talent? Going forward, the face of the franchise, the face of the AFC South leading Jaguars, by the way, who saw that coming?
Nobody right. At all.
The addition of Jacoby Myers has proven to be fantastic. They're doing all this without Trevor Lawrence or without Travis Hunter. What do you think is going on with Trevor Lawrence? He's had games the week prior. I think he had 24, 25. He's been in the 20s, but last week for 54 and a half. What do you think? Does he go forward as a top quarterback that we think, or what?
I'm going to give you a hint as to why he's, ascending. And I actually am going to talk about him later, not for the rewind, but looking forward, I'm going to talk about the Trevor Lawrence as well. But it's Mr. Duval. I really do think Liam Cohen plays a big role into what we've seen with Trevor Lawrence. We saw it with Baker Mayfield last year. He kind of seems to have the ear of the quarterback, right? He kind of seems to be the guy who helps propel these guys to take the next step. I don't want to give too much away with what I'm going to talk about with Trevor Lawrence, but he really is on a decent trajectory right now to have one of his better seasons in his career and kind of live up to that fantasy value we've been talking about for a while. And he's, like you mentioned, doing it without Travis Hunter. It's been an up and down year for Brian Thomas Jr. He's doing it with, Jacoby Myers, who they traded for middle of the season, Parker Washington in spurts, Bretton Strange. I got fucking absolutely wrecked last week by Travis Etienne and his 3 receiving touchdowns last week. So that was fucking cool.
He was a guy I wanted to talk about too, but I left him off, I think. Yeah, I did.
So it is a good sign of things to come for Trevor Lawrence. What was you had another thing you want to talk about for this game, right?
No, that's why I had my guy was Trevor Lawrence from there.
Oh, okay. I
combined both of them. I got 2 games and 2 players, and a player from each game that I wrote down.
Oh, gotcha. All right. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one as well. I liked what I've seen from TLaw so far this year. But let me move into my game here. It was the Bears versus the Cleveland Browns. This game was in Chicago. 31-3. The Bears win, absolutely decimated Cleveland and Shador Sanders. Shador, 18-35, 3 INTs, sacked 5 times. In his defense, the Bears have the most turnovers in the NFL and have the best turnover differential in all of the NFL right now. So that is a tough defense to kind of deal with. Let's be fair, especially in Chicago. Shador on the season, 52% completion percentage, 946 yards, 5 TDs, 6 INTs, 1-3 in that time, sacked 13 times in his 4 starts. But Rich, I'm here to say, I do believe Shador Sanders should be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns in 2026. I don't think the answer is Dylan Gabriel. I don't think they're going to be, unless, they do have 2 first-round picks in this draft. Right now, they have pick number 4 and number 28 with the trade for Travis Hunter that the Jaguars made. They have 2 first-round picks. I don't see Fernando Mendoza making it past the Raiders, who are at 2 currently. So I think that's what's going to happen. I do think Shador has done well enough with what he's dealing with in Cleveland, right? Jerry Jeudy should not be a wide receiver 1 on any roster, right? No. Cedric Tillman, I really thought was going to take the next step. Again, can't stay healthy, is having trouble separating this year. The real winner of that offense is Harold Fannin Jr., just an absolute fucking
he's killing it
monster. I think you take these 2 first-round picks that you have, you build around Shador for 2026. You get an offensive line, you add some offensive line probably within the first pick. You add some more to your defense with your second first-round pick. And then if it doesn't work out with Shador in 2026, you're still going to be bad, right? You're going to take the pick in your first-round pick as a quarterback in 2027. So I think Shador has done well enough to give himself the chance to be the starter in 2026. My thing is with him is that he didn't have any of the first team reps up until he became the starter for the Cleveland Browns. He really didn't have time to develop with the starters, and he's looked better than Gabriel. He's looked better than, I guess, Flacco really might have been the best looking quarterback out of all of them, but they traded him away.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson sucks.
I was going to say, I think you were forgetting one big albatross in the room in Deshaun Watson. That oiled up bastard. I don't think he's going anywhere, dude.
If they switch back to Deshaun Watson in 2026, the Cleveland Browns deserve to just suck forever.
Well, what do they owe him? What do they owe him?
Probably a shit ton of money.
Right. So it's like, are they going to if they don't cut him, I think he's playing, because I don't think he's tradable with this insane contract. I don't think you're going to cut him unless you want the headache of the dead cap hit. So it's like they might have to play him.
I don't know. I think Shador is better than him at this point. This is a guy who hasn't played football really in a year and a half now, right? Did not look good that half a year ago that he played. Shador, the biggest thing with him is that he needs to learn to get rid of the ball and play the next play, right? Mm-hmm. The 13 sacks, obviously there's going to be some on the offensive line, but he holds onto the ball entirely too damn long. And that was something that he had an issue with in college. So that's rearing its ugly head now. But I think if you can get another playmaker on that Cleveland offense as a receiver, because I think Quinshon's solid, or better than solid. He's very good. I think Shador could be the starter for the Browns going forward. I think he's a solid quarterback who just got the shit end of the stick in the draft, who kind of got screwed around a little bit during preseason and the regular season.
Well, I'm not sure he was all innocent and getting screwed around in the draft.
Pick is a little much, a little bit.
Well, maybe, but was there some tampering in there? Was some I don't want to go here type shit? Was there his attitude in interviews? You seen how he was that did that weirdo shit when he was like pretending to talk but not really talking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, does his ego perceive himself?
I just watched JJ McCarthy gritty as he's walking into the fucking end zone. So I don't want to hear anybody. That dude, I would have lit him the fuck up on the next
play.
Why?
That's their thing though. That's
but that's when you're in. He does that when he's in the end zone. He doesn't do it while he's waltzing into the fucking end zone.
I missed it. But what
he did the gritty as he was going into the end zone,
as he was scoring.
Yeah,
that's fun. I mean, come on, that's funny.
I'm lighting him the fuck up.
What about when Deshaun Jackson did the old fell backwards? That was a salty move.
It was salty. Yeah, right, but Deshaun Jackson also fumbled the football at the 1 yard line. So he's an idiot. Anyway, the next person I want to talk about for this game is, again, I keep pounding the drum for this motherfucker and nobody's listening.
Pound that drum,
Williams. Yeah, Caleb Williams just continues to be very solid, and everybody just fucking hates the kid because he paints his nails. Who gives a shit? He's the acrylic assassin for a reason, right?
God.
Yeah.
You
17 to 28.
thought about that one for a while.
No, I heard that on Instagram. I didn't come up with that. 17 of 28, 242 yards, 2 TDs. Going against the best passing defense in all of football in sacks and passing yards, 4th best defense against the quarterbacks for fantasy with no Roma Dunze. This dude played fucking out of his mind. That
Liddy
throw
like a titty.
that throw to the back of the end zone to DJ Moore was probably one of the best throws we've seen this season.
Yeah, that was a drop in the bucket. That was
a missile. That was an absolute missile.
And he put it right where it needed to be, dude.
Yeah, it's very.
I wish I used him more, man.
I want to show. I'm going to send it to you when we're done here. There is a side-by-side clip of the Joe Montana throw to win the playoff game to the Caleb Williams throw. It's almost the exact same play. It's just 20 yards deeper with Caleb Williams. So I'll send it to you after this. But again, he's just been continuously good all season, and he just doesn't get the credit because of. He has a little bit of an ego. He has a little bit of this, but he's like that Bears team is fun right now, right?
Yeah.
And I think Ben Johnson has made a world of a difference for this franchise. I think Caleb Williams deserves to be top 7 dynasty quarterbacks. He's getting eerily close to being in the top 6. Close to probably putting him over Herbert, although Herbert, with a broken hand, is just still tough as all hell. It's fucking
Herbert's the ultimate regular season guy. So
for sure.
He definitely is.
And we may see what Caleb Williams looks like in the playoffs this year.
Tough
coming
division.
up very soon. Very tough division because they have the Packers this week. They lost to on a bad Caleb Williams throw. You and I were talking about that where he tried to float at the Cole Kmet in the back of the end zone on that bootleg type of play. Right read, terrible throw. It just didn't have enough juice on it. Probably a little late as well. So I still am a firm believer that Caleb Williams is a dynasty QB1 and at least top 7. And if he continues and he shows out in the playoffs, it's going to be hard for me to keep him out of my top 5 because he's got the rushing. Last year he didn't have much rushing stats. This year he started to pick that up. And
he's
the team's working well around him. Exactly. So who is your next game here, Rich?
All right, my next game is going to be the Rams and the Lions. It was a shootout, 41-34 Lions. Jared Goff had a hell of a game, dude. 338, 3 touchdowns, 25 for 41. Who did not have a hell of a game is Jahmyr Gibbs. He was stuffed.
That Rams defense is legit, though.
Yeah, dude. And Stafford, of course, 24 for 38. He had 1 INT, 2 touchdowns, 368, dude. What's it like to have a quarterback that throws for 368? The number seems unattainable.
Unless you're in the playoffs. The Eagles are in the playoffs. That's when you see that again.
But it's one of these teams that are the top 2 teams, top teams in the NFC going at it. But my guy in that game that I'm looking forward to for fantasy wise is Amon-Ra St. Brown, dude. He had 13 catches, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, my question is, does that catapult him above JJ, Chase, Lamb? Does it catapult him above any of them, one of them, or all of them? Or is he still below them? Because JJ has not had a good fucking season.
JJ and JJ connection has not been working out well. St. Brown is above Jefferson for me.
2, 3, 4.
Below
so out of
Chase.
those 4, what would you do? Lamb, Chase. It's Lamb, Chase, Jefferson, and Amon-Ra. In no order, but they're the guys that I had written down.
He'd probably be 2A, 2B with Lamb for me.
And who's one? Chase?
Chase, yeah.
So Chase, Lamb, Amon-Ra, and then JJ. Yeah, he's just been a real disappointment this year. But yeah, of course I went up against the buzzsaw.
Overall talent.
Yeah, of course. I went up against the buzzsaw this week, and Amon-Ra that gave me the overall axe in my redraft league, all the while sitting Trevor Lawrence on my bench. So it was a rough week for me. But Amon-Ra, yeah, I think putting him 2 is fair. I'm not really impressed by Lamb or Jefferson this season. Chase has been had a up and down season as well, but Amon-Ra's kind of been, catapulting himself towards that upper echelon.
He's always kind of the guy who gets forgotten in the top
Yeah.
5 discussion,
Sure.
right? I'd have to go back to my ranks, and I don't have it on my computer; it's on my phone. But he'd be in that 4 or 5 discussion for me.
Okay.
Which is not bad. Obviously, he's a guy who's steady Eddie he's a high floor, high ceiling kind of guy. Like there is no low for him, right?
What about JSN or Amon-Ra?
I'm going to talk about
fantasy rank?
JSN. I'm going to talk
Okay.
about JSN a little later. So let's keep it to
Okay.
this right now. It's tough because JSN is essentially Amon-Ra but younger.
Yeah.
So it's hard, honestly. I really think Amon-Ra deserves to be in that top 5 discussion.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
he's above Jefferson. I think him and Lamb, it's close for me, but he's behind Chase in my opinion, and he's behind another guy that I'm going to talk about shortly. But yeah, I think this, him coming back and playing in that Dallas game 2 weeks ago really stood out to me, that he really wants to help this team win. Right now they're outside of the playoffs looking in. So they need all the help they can get. And Amon-Ra's like, yeah, I'm not fucking sitting out. Right. I'm helping my football team. So he gains it. Obviously, we already know the dude was all tough as shit. Right. But he's just a scrappy wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers in football. And one of your guys. He's in our opening intro for a reason, I believe. Right.
Yeah.
So good call there by you bringing that to the table. I do think, again, he is a top 5 guy. So let's get into my next game here, and let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals losing to the Houston Texans 40-20, right? And you think I was going to talk about the Houston Texans. I am not. I'm going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals side of the football. I talked about dealing with ETN and his, 3 receiving touchdown game. I had to deal with Trey McBride. 12 receptions, 134 yards, 2 TDs in that same fucking fantasy playoff. So I had a tough go of it in that one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: is Trey McBride 1A, 1B with Brock Bowers? Is he number 1, or is he just a firm tight end 2 right now? Firm tight end is fucking. Is he the firm tight end 2 right now? Because right now on the year he is tight end 1 in points per game and total points per game at 19.4. Brock Bowers is behind him at 14.7. But Brock's had some injuries.
Games.
The Raiders have been bad. Has McBride overtaken Brock Bowers in your opinion, or is this like I just mentioned with Amon-Ra and Brandon Lamb? Are they just like here and here together?
They're like neck and neck, dude. It's like come down to the wire. It's kind of like a nose race. You know what I mean? A photo finish. I think they're kind of. He's either. I think he might be 1A, 1B. I still
now this year he's 1A.
Yeah. But in like overall, probably slightly behind Bowers for me. But it really all has to do with who's going to be the quarterback. Because if it's like they go with Brissett, who again is not 37, he's like young-ish. he's like the same age as us. Who we know we could still sling it.
Philip Rivers can do it. We can do it, baby.
Exactly. If they stick with a guy who throws the ball 42 times a game, he's going to skyrocket over any tight end, I think. That would put
that's a good call by you. I like that.
That's like one, like not even one. It's above A, dude. It's like the fucking header on the paper. If they stick with a guy like him, which they might, because Kyler Murray seems to like just not go with this offense. You got Brissett, who gets a guy like Michael Wilson. They get him up and running.
That's the next guy I got to talk about.
Sorry. But yeah, I would go probably 1A this season, 1B overall.
Yeah, I think he's 1A, 1B at this point with Brock. 1A right now, 1B going forward. Because, I've doubted him before. I doubted him last year. I was trying to trade him for Kincaid plus, and look how that would have fucking killed me if I did it. I talked about doing it. I tried doing it. It got rejected. Thank God it got rejected, right? He's just, he is the focal point of that offense. And with tight ends, you want your tight end, your dynasty tight end to be either the best player on that offense or the second best. And that's exactly what he is. Right now, he's the best player on that offense. But right now, I want to talk about the guy who's the second best player on that offense at the current time. Is Michael Wilson, 5 receptions, 54 yards, 1 TD. Let's talk about the games he's played without Marvin Harrison Jr. Marv has missed weeks 11 and 12, 14 and 15 in those games. Michael Wilson, 41 receptions, 999 yards, and 3 TDs. With Marv, 25 receptions, 267 yards, and 1 TD. But I really want to talk about, you mentioned Jacoby Brissett kind of raising the tides slightly over, Kyler. With Kyler, he had no game over 20 yards receiving, right?
Yeah.
With Jacoby, has had no game under 30 yards receiving. He's at an average of 6.4 yards or 6.4 receptions per game and 79.3 yards in that time frame with Jacoby Myers. I think Michael Wilson has become, a guy who's a very high ceiling. We've seen these 150-yard games out of him, 170 yards. Those games are going to be few and far between. He's going to be a really good best ball guy, a guy you can, he's going to explode and have like 30-point games, and then he's going to have the average 10, right? Where he's going to have the 6 receptions, 70 yards, be that 14 to 13 range. Right now, I'd be dead serious in giving it like the 2.4 for him right now. In rookie picks, like the 2.4 pick, I would send that for him because, again, you're gambling on Michael Wilson because you don't know what you have in the future for him, right? But you're seeing extremely solid flashes out of him right now, and you're giving away a dart throw and a rookie pick anyway. So I think Michael Wilson has cemented himself to be a flex option at worst, a wide receiver 3 at best type situation. He's going to have the explosive weeks. He's going to have the mid weeks. And I'm going to take a gamble on that. I think he could be the wide receiver 2 for that team going forward. Probably the third option, once Marv comes back. He might even surpass Marv. We've seen crazier shit fucking happen, right?
And he's available, dude. He plays. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like Marv he had appendicitis, and I'm like, okay, he got his appendix out. Oh, he's out this game with a heel injury. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Another guy who tanked my fucking season. Thankfully, I did pick up Michael Wilson in that league, but ultimately got eliminated. But he's a guy who tanks your fucking team. It's getting to be like.
Are you happy now that you ended up with Caleb over Marv?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. I remember I was so pissed. I was like, I wanted him so bad at the 1-2, and I'm like, what the fuck? And now he's just been nothing but a headache, dude. And when he's on the field, it's like I'm not that impressed. He doesn't put the numbers up.
No, he really hasn't. He's not put the numbers that Michael Wilson has put up this year.
No.
And that's fucking shocking, right?
Right.
We're in year 3 of Michael Wilson. He's going into year 4. I don't think he's a free agent yet, actually. Now let me look that up. Hold on one second, because he wasn't a high pick. I think he was a 3rd or 4th round pick. So his contract might be, let's see real quick. He has a 4-year deal. So he's there until 2027. So he's got another year left on his contract. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Arizona Cardinals do, because they are the 6th pick in the draft. Do they ride with Jacoby next year? Do they try to move up and get a quarterback? Do they try to trade for one?
The quarterbacks we just talked about.
I like Mendoza,
but
that's about it.
But you say you like him, but like, would you move up and give the farm, sell the farm for him? You know what I mean?
No,
like that's what's going to take.
Probably
right
not.
To go from 1 to 6. Dude, I don't know. I think I'd rock out with something else.
You think you'd go with Jacoby another year, or try to trade for maybe like a Tua, or
if you get? I mean, I would keep Brissett.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's not – Jacoby does this, though, right, where he'll be, a very solid quarterback, and then we'll see what he was doing in New England last year, right before they switched to Drake May, where he was just god-awful, right? Good news for Jacoby Brissett. He does feed the tight end, and we're seeing that with Trey McBride. It'll be interesting to see what Arizona does at the quarterback position. I wouldn't be shocked if you're right, though. They do ride with – Jacoby, and maybe draft a quarterback later and just see what they have, right? See if they could develop somebody. See if
exactly, Jacoby, dude. If it's not there, if it's not a crazy draft like it isn't, I wouldn't oversell. I would ride out with Jacoby and see what I can get at 6.
Okay. Now, would you? I mentioned giving up the 2-4 for Michael Wilson. Would you do that, or would you be giving up a little bit more?
See, I'm not that versed in what the wide receivers are looking like this draft yet. So
It's got okay depth so far from what I've seen.
okay. Uh, I don't know. I like making moves, but I feel like you can. That's probably the right move. But it's like it's so hard to say because it's like do they go with Brissett? Because like I said, he throws it 42 times a game. So it's like I would be intrigued by that. I think I would be intrigued by that thought of man if they do go for him, or if it's later down the line when they do announce that they go with him, I'd be way more inclined to pick him up to
So if
make that trade.
Jacoby's the guy, going forward, you're super.
Yeah,
You're not the first person I've seen to say that. I was talking to a buddy of mine that kind of agreed with you in that thought process. So that's a
yeah,
good thought. Speaking of looking ahead, though, we talked about looking ahead to maybe 2026 with the quarterback situation. Let's look ahead to next week. Let's just go a little bit
Sure.
further. Who do you got, Rich? Who do you want to talk about?
Let's see here. Where are you at notes? We did touch on it a little bit. The Green Bay Packers and the Bears. It's a huge divisional matchup. Sunday night, I believe. It's got me interested in to see. I got to see how the defense responds of Green Bay with the loss of Micah Parsons. And this could be for all the marbles. You know what I mean? The Packers are 9-4-1, I think.
Mhm.
And the Bears are 10-4. So if the Bears win and put them a whole game ahead of them, whole two
They're
games, I'm
done.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got to be. This is like do or die for the Packers. So I feel like it's going to be a shootout, and this is going to be for me probably Caleb Williams' biggest test this week.
Yeah.
Has got to be this game.
Yeah, the Packers are 9-4-1. The Bears are 10-4. This would obviously switch the division up a little bit if the Packers win. They'd be the number one seed in that division.
How does a tie work then?
Like, well, because they'd be 10-4
and 1. So would that put them a half game?
They put they have 2 wins against the Bears at that point too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's what they do, the tiebreaker, and then they have an actual tie. So I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I keep looking over here.
At least a half game ahead of the Bears. Oh, it's all right. Tell them I said good morning.
She's I'm trying to make sure she's not trying to climb out of her crib. Like she's doing cartwheels over here. That's why I keep looking over here.
She's already more athletic than you've ever been.
Yes, very.
But yeah, this is a very important game for both teams. Is that in Chicago or that's in Chicago?
Is it?
That's in Chicago. That's a big one.
This is going to be a career game, career defining game for Caleb Williams early on in his career. Early in his career. This is a moment where it's like, okay, put up or shut up, be the guy and kick their hated rivals' ass. That's what you need to do. So we'll see, dude. I think Caleb's fully capable of doing it. I love watching him play. I think the maturity level from year 1 to year 2 has taken off, astronomically with the addition of the 4 new linemen, the whole new offense, Ben Johnson taking his shirt off in the locker rooms. All this shit is good for Chicago.
The vibes are high.
The loss of Matt Fleeberfluven, he's out of there. I think he got fired from Dallas too. He might be working at the shop right up the street.
There.
I thought I didn't click on it. There was an article. It was like, who can replace Fleeberflus as the defensive coordinator? Is a picture of Jim Shorts. So I'm like, what the hell happened here? And then I forgot to click on it.
For the Browns too.
Browns, yeah.
I keep forgetting about that. That's going to be a fun one for sure. My game I'm looking forward to is actually going to be tomorrow night, Richard. It's the Rams versus the Seahawks. This game is in Seattle.
It's the time of the year where games are like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Right now, the Rams are the number 1 seed in all the NFC. The Seahawks are the 5 seed. They are a game behind. Well, they are tied, but they are technically, I guess, a half a game behind because the Rams have the win over them just a couple weeks ago, where Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions to lose that football game. But I would really want to talk about this matchup right here, Richard. Puka Nacua versus JSN in the Dynasty Dogs Stadium. Coming into this year, Puka was what?
That's a picture of both of our dead dogs. I thought it was funny.
Oh, damn it. You piece of shit. Anyway. coming into this year, Puka was a top 5-6 dynasty wide receiver coming in. Has become my wide receiver 1 in dynasty purposes. JSN came into this year as a top 12 guy, at least 12 or 11 in most scenarios. He was my number 11 coming into this season, and his number 11 in your on your program as well. Who do you think wins this matchup? Because the last time they played each other, JSN 9 receptions, 105 yards, 1 rush for 11. Puka 7 receptions, 75 yards, 2 rushes for 18 yards. These two guys are both wide receiver 1 and 2 in total points per game or total points and points per game. They switch back and forth in both of them. Rich, who would you rather have dynasty-wise, JSN or Puka?
JSN or Puka? Oh, my God, this is a hard one. Well, I traded you Puka, so I think I'd take JSN at this point.
You have no wrong answer here, in my opinion.
No, it's not. It's just so hard to say, and a lot of it's a quarterback play. A lot of this, my thought with this game on who's going to win is who's going to have the better quarterback play, and that's going to be the Rams hands down. You got Matt Stafford, who's going to probably win the MVP this season. He can make short, intermediate, and long throws. You got Sam Darnold, who cannot just keep up with that, as you mentioned before, with the 4 interceptions.
He's looked all right throughout the season.
He's all right, but Sam Bradford. Matt Stafford,
same guy.
I feel like their names are the same.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But he's just a doctor, dude. When he's out there, he picks you apart, and he knows exactly how. He just knows how to do it, dude. And I think it's going to be the Rams. I think they come out on top. But as far as who am I taking, I'm going to take JSN.
Yeah, it's tough because Puka's my wide receiver 1 right now, so I'm going to slightly lean Puka, but JSN has an argument to be at least a top 4 or 5 guy at this point with what he's doing. Everybody was a little worried that, DK's gone, Tyler Lockett's gone. Could he be the guy? Right. And he's fucking done it without them. He was doing it with them, and now is just absolutely taking a monster step forward with him there. There were people worried, we talked about it here. I wasn't concerned with the Cooper Kupp edition. Was he going to be the slot guy? Was it going to be Cooper Kupp? Now they're lining him up everywhere, and he's just winning at all phases of the game. So I'm almost talking myself into moving Puka or JSN ahead of Puka. But again, I think these guys are just like very even playing run right now. Going to come down to really what the rest of this season looks like for both of them, in my opinion. But I do think I kind of agree with you with the Rams winning this football game. They are a 1.5 favorite in Seattle, which is kind of surprising. But that team is just fucking tough to beat unless, you're Carolina, who just randomly beats them 2 weeks ago, with Bryce Young. Who's your next game here?
Speaking of Bryce Young, we're going to go with the Bucks and the Panthers.
That was one I thought about. I knew you were going to bring it. I, for some reason, just knew you were going to talk about it, so I left you to have it.
Dude, identical records late in the season.
Who would have thought?
Right, not me. Not us. No, not at all. Identical records. Tet is really kind of forming into that number 1 wide receiver role pretty nicely for the Panthers. And how about Bryce Young actually playing like a competent quarterback? He's a guy I feel like we should have maybe talked about. Like, is his stock rising? Is he finally getting to where we thought he would be? In these past couple games, dude, it seemed like it went from last season. Well, are they going to move on from him? And oh my God, I couldn't believe what the Panthers gave up for him. To now they're kind of, they're building a team around him, and he's kind of looking like the guy from Alabama. He's playing well. So is this where the Panthers get the division? Do they take the division over this game? It's going to be these two games. These games late in the season are going to be a shootout, and this game for sure is going to be a shootout.
I 100% agree with you.
I don't know what the hell day it's on, because now it's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Got all week football. But, dude, these games are like every one of them besides Eagles. Eagles at 5 o'clock. But, dude, this game's going to be good.
I think Bryce Young has done well enough to be the quarterback next year and probably going forward. I agree with you. Tet has pretty much cemented himself as a wide receiver 1. They do need to. I think Leggett might be done. I don't know if I see it with him.
Oh man,
he'd probably be a really good 3, right? As opposed to a number 2. Jalen Coker looks really fucking good.
Yeah,
but I think
I love him. I don't know if it's because the way he talks about eating raccoons, but like,
yeah. I think they need to add another piece there. in Carolina.
Mhm.
It's going to be a very fun football game, though. And it's you talked about this being a big test for Caleb. This is a big test for Bryce as well,
Mhm.
because if he comes out and shits the bed, then we might be
Yeah.
having a little bit of a different discussion. Can he win that big game? But I do see signs of Alabama Bryce this year. I have seen a
Mhm.
lot of signs, actually, making magician-type plays happen that we weren't seeing last year. So I agree with
Right.
you. As long as he doesn't shit the bed,
Yeah.
in this game, I think he's pretty safe going forward. My next game is Duval. Jacksonville taking on the Denver Broncos. This game's in Denver. Denver is a favorite, obviously, at this point, because they are the best team in the AFC at this point in time. At what are they, 11-2? They're 11-2 to the Jaguars. Surprising out of fucking nowhere, 10-4, right? TLaw going up against the seventh best defense versus quarterbacks in fantasy. He is 900 yards and 2 TDs off of his best season. I definitely think he will pass those 2 TDs in the next 3 games.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with the Jaguars offense as a whole, with what they've done with the rotation at running back. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
shooting, sometimes it's ETN. Quinn Allen shows up every now and again too. Jacoby Meyer. We mentioned everything, and TLaw has been the brunt of that. Offensive, the way that offense looks good, and then that defense has really stepped up too. They've been really
They're
tough,
hanging around.
surprisingly, because I didn't see them being a good defense, and then all of a sudden, they really have taken the next step. I do think Denver wins this football game because this game is in Denver. This is a travel. This is a big travel
Mhm.
for Jacksonville, right? I think this Denver defense is very, very good. Did Surtain get hurt? No, he bounced back. Never mind. He was
Did he?
fine. So he'll be back. Denver might be without RJ Harvey with a rib injury. He left late in that game. So it'll be interesting to see what they do at running back. But I like what Denver's done too. Pat Bryan, the emergence of him. Troy
Mhm.
Franklin has been here and there. Courtland Sutton just been the guy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun matchup. These two guys, Bo really kind of took off last year, has kind of flatlined slightly, but there are still some real flashes. But then TLaw himself has really taken the next step forward finally with Liam Cohen. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, I think it's kind of going to be one of those games again where you just like put up or shut. It seems like that's the theme this week is,
Yeah, it
the put
is.
up or shut up for Trevor Lawrence as well. Like, are you a pretender or are you contender? You're 10-4 right now. You're going against a good defense. You're going against arguably the best cornerback in the league, if not top 2. So it's kind of, are you going to make the smart plays? Are you going to make the smart throws? Are you going to try to play hero ball, which we know Trevor Lawrence likes to do, or are you going to count on your guys? So this is I'm just looking at the whole list of games, and it's like this is going to be a one hell of a matchup. It's Denver -3, so Denver -3 at home. You usually give it to the home team. Let's feel
That'd be a
lucky.
good.
I don't know. I think Jacksonville's defense is going to get the Bo next this week. I'll take
I could
Jackson.
see that. I could see that, but I just think the home field advantage for Denver might just be a little too much this week. That would be a good description for this episode's head. Put up or shut up time.
Yeah.
So that's been a common conversation. But Rich, let's wrap this episode up. You were not here with us last week, so give us your final thoughts here.
I'm sorry, what you say? Cut out.
Yes. You were not with us last week, so give us your final thoughts.
Oh, all right. As always, we like to talk about on the Dynasty Dogs men's mental health and mental health altogether. As we like to say, we'd rather talk about you or talk with you than talk about you. So if you have issues, reach out.
I just realized there's been a pink bag just floating next to me for this. It's just
excellent and closing sentiments.
Yeah. Like Rich said, absolutely. Make sure you're reaching out to someone to talk to, whether it be a friend, family member, pet, doesn't matter. Somebody out there loves and cares about you. I talk to my pets all the fucking time. So
I think reach out to your pet.
Yeah. Hey, listen, sometimes talking to my dog is easier than talking to my wife because sometimes my wife wants your goldfish.
That's why I talk to my fishies.
But again, for the Dynasty Dogs, for the fantasy football universe, we will see you guys next week. Rich and I are just trying to plan out a day. I think we're going to have like a naughty and nice list conversation of Rich's and I's takes from earlier this season into, what they turned out to be. That kind of conversation should be fun because we might get to yell at each other a little bit. We might get to tell us about our wins and our fuck ups from this season. That was. So we will see you guys next week. Have a good night.
Peace.
FFU.